Hi everyone, and welcome to our latest issue of Magical Monday Musing for the week of January 26th already. I'm coming to you from my last shoot here at the Hobbit House. We're leaving in a couple of days and I'm taking a break from the action to make sure that we can have this time together. It's absolutely crazy. It's bedlam. It's exhausting, but there's new beginnings, endings and new beginnings, and so as far as last week's cards, I hope that they were useful to you. I once again thank those of you that made a comment about how they hit home with you, and I certainly did myself come back time and time again to that image of the 5 cups and remembering to focus on the ones that are standing up and the things that are working in our lives, as opposed to the things that are falling away or the mourning, the grieving that the card talked about. I'm definitely in the process of all of those things, leaving this house and ending this way of life and beginning a new one. But I found myself being in both of the places, so curious to hear how you all did. As always, love to hear from you. And this week is the end of, we're coming close to the end of, January. So moving almost into another month. February 1st, 2nd, Imbolc is a turning point for a lot of people that practice earth spiritual traditions, earth spirituality, paganism, witchcraft, druidism. So we also just had a new moon, so we have a lot of new energy coming in to support us in our paths. So without further ado or gilding of the lily, I'm going to get us started on our meditation so we can see who is going to give us guidance and work with us this week in the cards. Okay, so I invite you to close your eyes and get comfortable wherever you are and allow yourself to take 3 deep breaths in and out at your own pace. Just breathing in this moment, breathing in the presence of your own personal awareness as you inhale. And as you exhale, allow yourself to release and let go. To bring your focus and attention into the room that you are, into your body, into this space, so that you can fully experience the energies. There may be healing or encodements in the words that are given to me to speak to you today. Calling on the grounded presence of the earth, of the 4 directions and elements of earth, fire, air, and water. Calling on the angelic realms, master teachers, all of our own personal guides, teachers, and ancestors, star beings, sky beings. On the archetypes and the personalities and the teachers within the cards themselves. And asking that we would be guided to collectively choose the cards that can best instruct us and help us to live our most powerful moment-to-moment experiences this week. Help us to evolve and grow. And so I invite you to open your eyes and to lay down your intentions of being able to work with what is given to us this week and lend your energies to the choosing of the card. So, okay, I feel like I've chosen the card. And it is the King of Vessels, Heron. Or we're still, I guess, going to be working with emotional and cup energy this week, because that will correspond with the King of Cups. So we know we're dealing with the royals, or we're dealing with the energy of the king, who is a master, protector, leader. So King of Cups and King of Vessels. All right, so as is our Magical Monday musing, we're going to read a little bit from both books as I feel guided, and then we're going to go ahead and I'll jump into seeing if I can actually tune into you guys and give you some messages that'll be meaningful to you in light of everything that we learned from these teachers. So the reading points for the King of Vessels: a deep belief in fairness, honesty, and honor colors everything you do. The profound depths of your character, once stirred into action, carry all before it. However, your admiration of self-control can sometimes make you appear too rigid. As a person in your life, this may be a way-shower and mentor whose tolerance gives him or her a peaceful demeanor. Very often, he or she is a catalyst that helps groups to gel, for he gives a place to each individual. His consideration for others derives from an innate compassion, can also be weak or ineffectual or inclined to milk situations for pity. So know that when we read the cards, of course, that this can mean someone coming into your life, or it could be aspects or parts of you that you're experiencing through the archetype of the card too. As an aspect or a process, exercising diplomacy, keeping a broad-minded perspective, promoting equality, offering support as a sponsor or a godparent. As an event or happening, an exhibition, art show, or creative display. I can think of some of you who I hope that this comes to pass for. A support network or helpline, a scandal, a general dependency. And here's some questions for you to think about this week. Where is tolerance needed? Who is depending upon your support? What is your loving duty here? Okay, so we know we could be dealing with needing to offer emotional or another sort of support to others, or I can definitely see where I'm going to need to be tolerant this week, moving into a new place with all that that entails. For those of you who have been through it, you know it's going to be developing tolerance. What is your loving duty here? So it looks as though we're going to be possibly asked to be in a place of support and openness, serving others in ways that they may need our help in terms of the emotional part. So we're looking at the King of Cups, always about emotion and feelings, vessels, holding. The key, according to our spiritual tarot book, is my phrase is highest emotional responsibility. I am the active spirit of this suit. Some think I'm merely fortunate to be in this position of authority. The truth is, I have studied and worked hard to gain mastery of emotional energies and use them wisely. So it looks as though we're going to be asked to be working with maybe the discipline, or working to dig deep to be the master of our emotions and what we're putting out and how we're responding to what comes to us this week. Like me, you have developed into a person of many talents and great insight into others. You have the skills to understand other people's feelings and to express your own articulately. Professions in which you advise or teach others are perfect for you, which I know a lot of you that work with me here are in that field or just naturally intuitive and offer support by living by example, being the pebble in your own pond, for example, or working in teaching professions or counseling, or there are those of you that just take on that role no matter what the quote-unquote job might be. It's just your nature, and you extend yourself that way. So you may or may not hear things in the background, but there are moving sounds going on around me, so you might hear life circle about as we continue on here. Watch out for your tendency to assume the imperious attitude of a king, though. Don't hold yourself aloof. Expect to be a leader. You have the experience to offer sound advice to others. Be considerate when dealing with others. You already know your power and have no need to reduce theirs, even though you may regard they may regard themselves in competition with you. So it looks like we're being asked to step into some of the higher teachings, some of the places where we actually rise above the emotions that we might feel by getting triggered by lower level, or some people might refer to it as ego, or those places of identity, you know, where we hold strong to who we think we are. And so I have a sense that this week we're going to be offered opportunities to transcend, see beyond, or when I say beneath, lower is not because I work shamanically. It's not something that is a negative. To me, descending is as important and something that we do that is vital as much as ascending. So to me, one of the symbols of Circle Magica, and that I work with and that has a lot of resonance through Inner Grove, the private community that we have at Circle Magica, but it's the symbol of the tree. So sinking the roots is as important as having the branches that reach out, and the trunk of connecting the two. So there's an importance and a purpose for what happens below as above. So as above as below. So all of that is part of our spiritual experience. So we can think about that this week too as we go through our experiences. So the King of Cups represents someone who expresses mental power, accepts social responsibility, and is qualified to lead others. He is truly accomplished on the emotional path. And it seems to be coming back to that for us this week. So just beware and just know that in order to express that, it requires us to experience things that challenge where we may be quote unquote weak or need more work. So know that whenever you ask for something, or whenever something is being given, there's oftentimes a work that goes with it in order to achieve or to earn that thing. So you may be challenged by some folks that are going to push your buttons so that you can step into that leadership position and really own that more. That's how we get experience, right? So look for that. I have a feeling for some of you it's what you're calling up this week, and so there are going to be scenarios for some of you to have the ability to use your throat chakra and speak truths that are really going to have you be seen more distinctively as someone that can lead, and someone that has a strong voice, and someone that is worth their salt, is a phrase I'm being given. There are times, I have a sense that there are some of you this week that have been reluctant to step into positions of leadership. You have known that it's something that you need to do and that's being asked of you, but you've been reluctant or holding back, like, I don't feel qualified, or you just haven't wanted to take that responsibility. But it may be that this week that's going to be stepped up. So circumstances in life are going to put you in that position where you might feel like, I don't really want to do that. I think I might have just hit my mic. But you are going to feel that nudge from the universe or from circumstances that are putting you in that position. Okay, let's see what else. The shadow characteristics of King of Cups include bigotry, intolerance, being so caught up in your own feelings of importance that we become oblivious to the legitimate needs of others, hedonism, arrogance, dishonesty, especially in playing on the feelings of others to get what you want, and if taken to its extreme, swindling others. So when this card appears, remain level-headed. I know for me that's going to be a key this week. This is a card of self-mastery, not ruling over others. So you notice how there's like two sides to that quote-unquote coin of what mastery could mean for you this week. So I also have a feeling that there are some of you that are going to be doing some karmic karmic work this week, sorry, my tongue is tied, around power and around where you may have been involved in the power over others in the past, and you are going to need to check that seductive lure to manipulate or to be grand, to maybe see yourself as more important or knowing it all, as opposed to others. Like well, I know better than they do. And you're going to have an opportunity to rethink that kind of response when you're with others this week. Clearly explain your view or position on the situation or issue. If someone in your life obviously wants your help, but may be too proud or stubborn to ask for it, you take the first step. And then lastly, evaluate how satisfying your life is or is not. Really get in touch with your feelings. Are some changes needed? So now that we're almost through our first month of 2015, some things have come into play for you. Some situations and scenarios have begun to unfold. And I find that it is very natural to me anyway, and working as I do with monthly cycles, we do reevaluate constantly, to see if we're on track with what we want to create, or just even seeing how we're feeling over time within ourselves. Not so much about maybe progress we've made, but just how satisfied are you with how your life is, the daily rounds. Our lives are lived in the daily rounds, the little portions of time that we that unfold over coffee, looking out in the backyard, or taking that walk, or the simple conversations you have with people on Facebook, as you're engaging, waiting in line at the supermarket. All of the little things are really what end up being the things that shape our lives. And so maybe take a little time and attention this week to really be present to those things, and notice where I had a friend who was talking about initially griping about the snow today, and then just saying, it was a choice to do that. And so she chose differently to start seeing the beauty as it clung to the trees and as it was falling, to the ground. And so she just, by switching that up, changed her perspective in the day, and it made a difference in how she felt. And working with the King of Cups, it's about emotional mastery, mastering that, especially in the context of others. So for us this week, I feel like so I'm tuning in specifically to people. I can't name names, but there's someone that I'm actually tuning into right now where I feel as though it's going to be your ongoing maturation in terms of your relationship with your children, and how they can be our greatest teachers and triggers, and having the opportunity to do some of that spiraling and karmic work there to come from a different perspective, more of a place of holding rather than reacting, and witnessing and seeing how that can shift the whole dynamic of an encounter, what could be a conflict, could be transformed through holding neutral space, is what I call it, being the witness. And also there are going to be those where it feels really good to know that you are a leader, to be a leader, that caretaking, when done in the right context, when it's not depleting to you, quite the opposite. It can be very empowering, and it can be very joyful. And to exercise your skills and talents in those ways that you're confident and know that you are capable can feel like you're right on your path, you're right on your mark. And that's a wonderful thing to acknowledge, and to take the time this week to pause and really give yourself credit and happiness, and feel that contentment of purpose and place and a connection with others. So there's a lot of different ways that this card seems to be coming up to work specifically with different members of our audience this week, and just reading through it and talking to you, I have a sort of a heads up about some of the things that might be in store for me that I know being physically exhausted is definitely not a good thing for my emotional mastery. So a little extra self-care. There's just so much to do in such a short time, but the blessings of friends that offer to help is so very much appreciated. And for all of you that have come by for an hour to help pack or send moral support, really appreciate that. So that's what we have for this week. King of Vessels and Heron, and King of Cups with a traditional tarot. So I wish you a magical and powerful week. And again, look forward to having your check-ins and letting me know how these cards are working in your life, how they're moving their energy and teaching, blessing, healing, instructing, helping you to be in your mastery. So until next week, blessed be to one and all.